Yo, hello guys, how are you doing? This is Rob of Rule of Two Review. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about GameStop and if they might be able to save their future. So, the tale around GameStop has been pretty depressing for quite a few years now. We all obviously know the tale about GameStop and how it's unfortunately been going through a fairly steady decline over the course of the past few years. And GameStop, for those of us in the States, we know that GameStop has traditionally been the biggest and most successful and most well-known video game store that you could go to. It's a huge chain here in the States. I think they might have a small presence outside of the United States, but I'm not 100% sure. If anyone who lives in a different country maybe knows of a GameStop that they go to, you can tell me if that's the case. But I know for sure it's an American company. It's a huge presence out here. And, for a while, it really was the best place to go to. And in fact, I'll even remind you guys, a lot of you already know this, I used to work at a GameStop back in the day. I'm one of many people on YouTube now who worked at GameStop at some point and now are also on YouTube. Of course, I don't do YouTube full time, so it's not like I moved my job from GameStop to YouTube, but I happen to have this part-time YouTube channel. And also back in the day, I happened to work for GameStop. But the point is that the store had traditionally been a great and wonderful and awesome place to go and buy your video games and talk to people and just have a good old time when it comes to video game stuff. But the last few years have been really, really rough, and it is sad to see. We know that their stock price has been going down, their profit margins have been getting smaller and smaller, they've been bleeding money, they tried buying ThinkGeek, they tried buying some sort of like mobile company thing that I don't even remember what it was called, and they had to sell these things off just to try to recoup some of their lost revenue. We know that Amazon has taken a huge chunk of money away from GameStop, as well as the digital gaming space. That's been another huge factor that's been hurting them, because GameStop, we all know that GameStop really relies on their used game sales, their buying and reselling of used games. That's where most of their money has been made for decades. And with digital gaming, we have people who are buying their games brand new and people who aren't having physical games to be able to trade in, and they're not going into GameStop to even buy their games in the first place because they're downloading them. Stuff that I'm not really a big fan of, but, we all know that it's becoming a huge part of gaming, and all of these factors have been making it so that GameStop has really been struggling, and they've had a lot of bad press, and it's been pretty sad to see. And so what's interesting about this is that just a couple of days ago, GameStop actually shared a tweet where they were quote tweeting somebody else who was sharing pictures that they found in one of the newly remodeled GameStops, because that has been sort of their big last-ditch plan here to try to save the company, is to remodel their stores and kind of try to change their front-facing business model. And someone shared a couple of pictures, and GameStop shared this tweet where they said, "Be careful tweeting pics like this. People might start to think we know what we're doing." And if you look at the pics that were shared here, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty cool. They do fall right in line with what GameStop said probably sometime last year that they were going to do. They were closing a bunch of stores, and a lot of the stores that they were keeping open, they were going to convert into basically what we see here, a store that is also about actually gaming and meeting up with people in person, as well as just going there to buy games. We can see tables with people with gaming chairs and people sitting around them, talking and having snacks. We see video screens, we see people playing like Fortnite and Mario Kart, and basically just a big LAN center is what it is. And you can, of course, also see like the section where there's like a cash register and like the wall of games. And overall, I think it looks pretty cool. It's not the first store we've ever seen like this. There are these, I don't even know what they're called. They're like little like LAN party small businesses that exist in like a lot of malls and stuff. I've even seen them in airports too, to be fair, where they allow people to come and just pay for a certain amount of time to be able to just LAN online with people. And it's pretty cool that that exists. And I do kind of like seeing GameStop trying to borrow the same idea. And so overall, if you can't tell, I like this. This makes me happy to see. I'm somebody who doesn't want GameStop to go away. I don't want them to fail. Partly because I have a great memory of working for GameStop, and also partly because I think that we're living in a world where retail sales of any goods and products and services is in jeopardy, you know? And I mean, I'm guilty of using online purchasing. I use Amazon and I use eBay, absolutely. But I also appreciate, you know, just like the traditional way we buy stuff, we drive to the store we need to go to and we buy that thing and it's there in our hands right away. And then we go right back home with the product in our hands and we can start using it or eating it or playing with it or whatever it is that we're buying right then and there. And in the gaming hobby space specifically, which obviously we're all passionate about, GameStop closing, in a world where GameStop closed completely and went away, I think it would be a huge symbol of the death of just retail in general, the death of retail video game purchases, and the death of physical video game purchases. These are things that a lot of us want to see continue. And yes, GameStop closing wouldn't actually kill physical video games. I mean, we know that. But would it be a huge leap forward in the process of getting to the all-digital future? I do see it as so. I think it would be a huge loss for the traditional video game space. And for those of us who want to kind of hold on to retail purchases and retail packaging and physical video games, like, that's what it means for a store of GameStop's stature within the specific niche of gaming to close down. And I really do worry for its future. To tell you the truth, I love what they're doing here, but do I think it's enough to save GameStop in the long run? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you that I think it's a failure. I'm not going to tell you that I think it won't save GameStop, because I think that it could. But I also can't say that it's for sure going to save GameStop. I mean, it's kind of just a crapshoot at this point. I think it's an interesting idea. I like the direction. I think it is the right direction to go. But it's going to be up to the consumer, really, and GameStop's dedication to it to sort of keep this thing going and keep it successful. One of the important factors we have to remember, and I think one of the key components in GameStop being successful with this new store model, is going to be when the new hardware launches this year. And they've even recently talked about the fact that, you know, their revenue was down last year because they think that people are waiting for, you know, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X to launch in 2020. And while I think that that's a little bit of a covering of the details, I also think that there is some truth to it. I mean, we all know that selling consoles and selling hardware isn't where the money is. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, or GameStop and Best Buy and retailers are not making a lot of actual money and profit off of selling hardware, selling video game consoles, and from selling brand new video games. That's not where the money is. But from GameStop's perspective, when they talk about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X coming out in 2020 and hoping that that can drive revenue, what they're hoping is that it just is getting people in the stores, which it will do, because I'm sure that the vast majority of people who are picking up PS5s and new Xboxes this year when these consoles launch will be going to GameStop to pre-order them and to pick them up. I mean, it's probably going to be my plan, for example. Yes, people will go to Walmarts and Best Buys as well and order them online, absolutely. But we also can't forget some online purchasing also goes through GameStop, by the way. So they're making money in that arena as well. But what they're hoping for is, okay, we're GameStop. We've gone headfirst into this new business model. This is a new endeavor for us that we care about and we think can really change the value of our stores. And now here comes a new Xbox and a new PlayStation, and we know that we're going to get, I mean, I don't know, more than 50% of people coming to buy them in person are going to be coming to our GameStop stores. And so they're going to be walking into our stores to place the reservations, and they're going to see how great the store is. And then they're going to be coming to the stores to pick up games and to pick up their consoles and to pick up controllers and accessories for it, and they're going to see how great our stores are. They're going to walk into our store and be like, man, this place is so cool. You got people over here playing Mario Kart. You got people over there playing Smash. You got people over there on a PC land playing Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever, and look at all of, you know, and they sell all the games and controllers and stuff that I want to buy, and I want to trade in my stuff to buy the other stuff. And so I think what they're hoping is, with the launch of new consoles comes all this new foot traffic into these newly re-renovated stores, and there's a chance that it changes the kind of mindshare and the perception of the average gaming consumer to the point where they realize GameStop is the place to go. And if GameStop is the place to go, it's a place they want to go hang out. It's a place they want to go game with people, with friends, and maybe even with strangers. It's a place they want to go trade in their games to go buy new games. And then maybe the cycle can continue. And I think a huge thing that GameStop can do is They need to get some sort of exclusivity going within their stores, and that could be in a couple of ways. That could be exclusive deals, it could be exclusive games, exclusive limited editions, exclusive sponsorships, exclusive tournaments and things that happened in their stores, and that could all be a way to drive revenue in a newly refocused GameStop that is just about people coming to game as it is people coming to buy. I mean, I'm not a businessman, so I can't really speak to the likelihood of success or failure here. I'm only just giving you ideas that are, rambling out of the top of my head as I talk about this and as I think about this. And as somebody who worked for GameStop in the 6th generation, you guys, I have amazing memories of working there from 2001 to 2004, 3 or 4, I think. It would have been 2005, actually. Sorry. It was 2001 to 2005 that I worked there, because I forgot. I left right after we stopped taking pre-orders for the Xbox 360, but before the console launched. So the 360 was the new hot thing. We'd been taking reserves for it, and reserves for like launch games like Call of Duty 2 and Perfect Dark Zero and all that stuff. And so that's when I left. But I worked throughout almost the entirety of the Xbox, GameCube, and PlayStation 2 generation. It's also when I went to E3 in 2004 because I worked for GameStop. Amazing memories of an amazing time to work for the company. Gaming was in such a more of a pure place at the time, and the internet hadn't taken over the culture of video gaming. And honestly, I'm just going to tell you, I think it made it better back then, even though I take advantage of the internet with gaming today. Hence my YouTube channel, which could not have existed in 2002, right? And so I have amazing memories of working there. It was so much fun, so many good friends. I had a girlfriend through there. It was just amazing. And, I don't know that all of these things are going to save GameStop, but I would like to think that there's a chance. And I'm rooting for GameStop. I'm on GameStop's side. Yes, they're known for some stupid business practices, some really boneheaded decisions. They got exposed for that, lying about new games thing, because they created this like internal program that incentivized employees to lie about stuff. And we know that their trade-in values sometimes are garbage. We all know the memes about, they gave me 3 cents for like, Red Dead Redemption 2 or whatever. And those things suck. I'm not going to pretend like I like those things. I mean, GameStop of today is nothing like the GameStop of 15 years ago when I worked for them. It was so much better back then than it is now. But I think that's also because the gaming industry was better back then than I find it to be today. That's just my personal opinion. And so the point is, I would rather see GameStop fix themselves, improve themselves, and be successful and find success in this new model. I'm excited to find the first GameStop near me that is remodeled this way. I absolutely will want to go check it out. Like I said, I'm going to buy my PS5 and my Xbox Series X from them. And I'm going to buy some games from them, and I'm going to do what I can. I will still buy games online, but I still want to make an effort to be a consumer at GameStop while it makes sense to do so. Unless they do something, again, that makes it so I just want to completely boycott them. But until they do that, I would like to see them succeed and improve. I'm willing to give companies and people second chances when they make mistakes. And I would like to see GameStop succeed, so I'm going to give them a second chance, and I want to become a consumer again. So, I don't know. This is how I feel. So how do you feel? What do you think about what we've seen from GameStop's remodel plan? Do you think that their overall new business model could be successful? Do you think it's going to fail? Do you think that the new hardware this year from Sony and Microsoft is going to make a difference or not? And do you even still like GameStop? Or maybe you hate them and you just want them to go away and you want to see all these people lose jobs and just kind of celebrate that. However you feel, whatever you think, talk about it below. And that, of course, makes this video a wrap. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.